The air on the platform was wet and cool. It smelled of rain. The sun was going down, and the sky was orange and red. Lynn was a student. She was a little tired. She pulled her suitcase behind her. The small wheels made a quiet noise on the wet ground. She was going home to see her parents. She was happy about it. She held her train ticket. It said, "The Endless Train." She was going to her hometown, far away. A long, modern train came to the station. It was dark red and looked new. The doors opened with a soft sound. People started to get on. Lynn went inside. The train was warm. It smelled clean. She found her seat, number 12C. It was next to a window. She put her suitcase up and sat down. The train started moving. It was a very soft start. The city lights began to look like long yellow lines. The train was going fast. The wheels on the track made a soft, calm sound. Lynn put her head on the window. She watched the last bit of sunlight go away behind the mountains. It was raining a little now. The rain made small circles on the glass. The trip had started. She wanted to use her phone, but then she saw something. It was a small notebook. It was in the pocket on the seat in front of her. The notebook was light brown. It looked old. It had a small, colorful sticker of a train on it. The notebook looked like it was left by accident. It seemed special, not just a lost item. Lynn thought for a moment. Maybe she should give it to the train worker. But something made her wait. She carefully took the notebook. She felt it was her job to take care of it now. When she opened it, she smelled a light, nice flower smell. It was a nice detail. It made her smile a little. The pages inside were empty, but on the first page there was some writing. It was in neat letters. Lynn felt excited. This was a mystery. It was a small, quiet mystery. The train was rocking gently. It felt like an invitation to a game. Lynn was not just a tired student anymore. She was now part of a story on the endless train. The train moved smoothly now. The quiet of the carriage was nice. The only sounds were the soft movement of the train and the quiet tapping of rain on the window. Lynn was alone in her seat. She held the small notebook in her hands. The sticker on the cover showed the little train engine. It was bright and happy. It made her smile again. She turned to the first page. The writing was very clear. It said, "If you find this, please leave it in car 7. There's a reason." Car 7, thoughtful Lynn thought. It was the same car she was in. She looked around. The carriage was long and quiet. There were many people. Some were reading, some were sleeping. She looked at the other seats. No one seemed to be looking for a lost notebook. The note was a bit of a mystery. Who wrote it? And why? She carefully closed the notebook. It felt like a little secret. She thought about the reason mentioned in the note. Thoughtful. Was it a game? Was it a joke? Or was it something more serious? She didn't know. But she felt like she had to do what the note said. She had to leave it in car 7. Lynn decided to wait. She wanted to see if someone would come back for it. She put the notebook in the seat pocket where she had found it. She looked at the clock on her phone. It was getting late. The last of the sunlight was gone. It was dark outside. The lights of the train station had disappeared. Now there were only the lights of small houses and distant roads. They passed by like small bright dots. The train whistle gave a long soft sound. It was the sound of a long journey. The sound made her feel calm. She thought about the note again. The person who wrote it must have been in a hurry. Maybe they forgot the notebook and had to find a fast way to get it back. The words, "There's a reason," made her curious. It was like a puzzle. She liked puzzles. It was a nice change from her medical books. The train ride felt different now. Before, it was just a trip home. Now it was an adventure, a small, quiet adventure. Lynn looked out the window again. The rain was stronger now. It was a gentle, soft sound. She felt warm and comfortable inside the train. She decided to go to the cafe car. Maybe a warm drink would help her think. She put on her jacket and stood up, ready to start her little mission. Lynn left her seat and began walking. The train moved smoothly, so she didn't have to hold on to anything. The sound of her footsteps on the metal floor was soft. She walked past other passengers. Some were looking at their phones, some were talking quietly. The air was a little different here. It smelled like food and coffee. She was getting closer to the cafe car. The cafe car was bright and warm. It had a long counter and some small tables. The train worker behind the counter was a man with a friendly face. He was putting cups on a shelf. Lynn walked to the counter. "Hello," she said. "Could I please have a cup of hot cocoa?" "Of course," the man said, smiling. "A perfect drink for a rainy night." While he was making the drink, Lynn looked around the cafe. She wanted to see if anyone looked like they had just lost a notebook. She saw a young woman with a book. She saw an old man drinking tea. Nobody looked worried or sad. "Is everything okay?" the man asked. He was pouring hot water into her cup. "Yes, everything is fine," Lynn said. "I was just wondering, has anyone asked about a lost notebook?" The man stopped for a moment. He thought. "A lost notebook? I don't think so. But many people come and go. People forget things." Lynn felt a little disappointed. She decided to try a different question. "Did you see anyone in car 7 recently? Maybe a young girl who looked in a hurry?" The man shook his head. "I can't remember. I'm always busy here, but the train is full tonight. The last stop is Tokyo. It's a very popular trip." He gave her the cup of hot cocoa. It was warm in her hands. Lynn paid for the drink. "Thank you very much," she said. "You're welcome. The last stop is in about 40 minutes, he said, pointing to a small screen with a train timetable. "We'll be there soon." Lynn went to a small table near the window. She drank her cocoa and watched the lights passing by outside. The man at the counter had not helped much. But he did say one important thing. The last stop was coming soon. She had to find the notebook's owner before the train arrived. The small puzzle was getting more exciting. She had to find a way to get the notebook to the right person. Lynn finished her hot cocoa. It was time to act. She left the cafe car and started walking back. The carriage was long and narrow. The sounds of the train were different now. She heard the soft whistle of the wind outside. She heard the quiet sound of the wheels on the tracks. She walked through the long corridor of the train. She passed many closed doors. Behind each door there was a quiet world of its own. She could see other passengers through the windows of the doors. Some were sleeping, some were reading. She felt like a detective on a mission. She had to find the owner of the notebook. The train passed through a small station. The announcement bell rang and a voice on the speaker said something. Lynn could not understand it. It was too fast. The doors of the train opened and a few people got off. Then the doors closed again with a beep and the train started to move again. The sound of the doors closing made her jump a little. She was focused on her task. She walked from car 6 to car 7. The floor felt different here. It was a metal bridge that connected the two cars. She could feel the movement of the train more here. She looked at the floor and there, near the seats, she saw something, a small piece of paper. It was folded and looked like a note. Lynn quickly picked it up. She opened the small note. The handwriting was the same as in the notebook. This time the note was shorter. Seat 14A. Lynn looked around the carriage. She saw the numbers on the seats. She walked to the end of the car. Her heart was beating a little faster now. Seat 14A was in the next row. It was a new clue. This was not a random lost item. It was a chain of notes. The mystery was getting bigger. Lynn felt excited. She was close to finding the person. Lynn walked up to seat 14A. Her heart was beating fast. She looked at the seat number again. Yes, it was correct. But the people sitting there were not who she expected. It was an old man and an old woman. They were a nice, polite couple. The woman was knitting a small scarf. The man was reading a newspaper. Lynn felt a little confused. She said to them, "Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but did you find a note here?" The old woman looked up and smiled kindly. "Oh dear, we didn't find a note, no." Lynn's face fell. The mystery was getting harder. Just then, the old man put down his newspaper. He had an envelope in his hand. "Are you looking for this?" he asked. "We found it this morning. A girl was in a hurry and dropped it. It has a name on it that we don't know." Lynn looked at the envelope. It was not a small piece of paper. It was a proper, large envelope. On the front, in the same neat handwriting from the notebook, was a name. "For Kenji." The old man explained. "We found it when we got on the train. We thought the person who lost it would come back. We were going to give it to the train conductor." The old woman smiled again. "It seemed like a very important letter. We didn't want to open it, of course." Lynn felt a wave of relief. This was not the person she was looking for, but they had the missing piece of the puzzle. The notes were not for her. They were a chain of messages to find this letter. "Thank you so much," Lynn said. "I'm trying to help the person who lost it. It's a bit of a story." She quickly explained about the notebook and the notes. The old couple nodded, happy to help. They gave her the envelope. It felt heavy in her hand. It was a real letter, not a simple note. Lynn looked at the name, "For Kenji." She had the final piece of the puzzle. Now she just needed to find Kenji or the girl who wrote the notes. Lynn walked through the cars holding the important envelope. She had to find the train conductor. She saw him talking to a passenger a few cars away. He was wearing a dark blue uniform. Lynn waited for a moment until he was free. "Excuse me," Lynn said. "I'm looking for the person who lost this." She showed him the envelope. The conductor looked at the envelope. He then looked at Lynn. A smile appeared on his face. "Ah, yes," he said, "I remember. A young girl was looking for it earlier. She was in a big hurry." Lynn felt a new wave of hope. "Do you remember what she looked like?" she asked. "Yes, I do," he said. "She had a bright scarf and a small backpack. She asked me about the lost and found office. She was very worried. She said she was trying to deliver a letter to someone, but she didn't have much time." Lynn listened carefully. The conductor's words gave her a clearer picture. The girl wasn't just careless. She was on a mission just like Lynn was now. The girl had a reason for her notes. The conductor didn't know where the girl was now, but he told Lynn one more important thing. "She asked me for help. She said she had a special meeting planned at the last car. She was going to meet her brother there. She hoped she could give him the letter there if she couldn't find it sooner." Lynn's heart beat fast. The last car, that was the final clue. The train was getting closer to the last stop. She had very little time. She thanked the conductor and ran toward the back of the train. She had to hurry before the train stopped. Lynn ran. The train lights passed over her head. The gentle sound of the train was a steady rhythm. The train was getting closer to the last stop. She held the letter tightly in her hand. It felt warm and real. The train was a long line of cars. She had to go through all of them to get to the end. She opened the door between the cars. There was a whoosh of cold air. She stepped onto the metal bridge. It was noisy here. The sound of the wheels was very loud. She felt the train moving side to side. It was a strange feeling. She looked down at her feet, and there, on the metal floor of the passage, was a small, bright piece of paper. It was a third note. Lynn quickly picked it up. The same handwriting was on it. It said, "If late, meet at the last car, the one with no seats." Lynn smiled. This was it. This was the final clue. The girl was waiting for her. The note felt like a thank you message, even before she met the girl. Just then, a voice came over the speakers. It was a quiet voice, but she could hear it clearly. It was the train announcement. "Attention passengers, we will be arriving at our final destination, Tokyo Station, in approximately 5 minutes. The announcement made Lynn move faster. She had to get there now. She ran across the metal bridge and pushed open the next door. She was in the last car. It was a service car with no seats. It was dark and quiet. She could see the back of the train and the train tracks behind it. The lights of the station were getting closer. Lynn walked into the last car. The train was slowing down now. The air was cool and silent. She looked around. A young woman was standing by the window. She had a bright red scarf and a small backpack, just as the conductor had said. The girl looked worried. She was looking at her phone. Lynn walked closer. "Excuse me," she said. The girl turned around. Her eyes were a little sad. Lynn held out the large envelope. "Is this yours? I think this belongs to you." The girl's eyes grew wide. She looked at the envelope. Her hand went to her mouth. She took the envelope. Her hands were shaking. "Oh my God," she whispered. You found it." "I found the notebook first," Lynn said. "It had a note in it. And then I found more notes." The girl smiled. A tear came to her eye. "I can't believe it. I was so worried. I was on my way to meet my brother. I have not seen him in a long time. This letter is for him. It's from my father. He gave it to me this morning. He wanted me to give it to my brother, but I forgot it and had to get on the train. I was so upset." The girl looked at the envelope again. "I was scared to send it. I thought it would get lost in the mail. My father said I had to give it to my brother myself, but I dropped it and had to leave the train." The girl looked at Lynn with big, thankful eyes. "Thank you," she said. "You are a hero. You have no idea how much this means to me. Thank you for not giving up." The train came to a final stop. The announcement said they had arrived at the last stop, Tokyo. The doors opened with a soft beep. People began to get off the train. The girl held the envelope tightly. She gave Lynn a small, warm hug. "I want to give you something," the girl said. She took a small, beautiful postcard from her bag. It had a picture of an autumn tree on it. The colors were orange and red and yellow. It was a beautiful picture. "Thank you again. I'll be okay now." Lynn smiled. She felt happy and calm. The girl walked away holding the important letter. Lynn watched her go. She felt a quiet joy. The adventure was over. Lynn walked out of the train and onto the platform. The station was bright and busy. She felt a soft vibration in her pocket. It was her phone. She looked at it. A new message had appeared. It was a text message. It was from a number she did not know. The message was short and simple. "Thank you. I'll be okay." Lynn smiled. It was from the girl. She put her phone away. The sounds of the station were around her. A quiet piano melody started to play somewhere. She looked out the window. The lights of the station were all around her. The music got softer and softer. Lynn knew she had done something special. It was a quiet secret between her and the girl. She was